at what point did you maybe start looking bigger picture on the championship, or does that approach of race by race never change?
Yeah, it never changes. Never. Like, look at what happened last year. Like, you think it's going to be a lot easier. Suddenly, you cannot even start a race at Milwaukee. Power is going to win, and suddenly it's going to take your championship lead at the middle of the race, which is like complete chaos. And then suddenly, on the last couple of laps, he loses a bunch of points, and you're okay.
Welcome to the RACER Debrief. I'm Lawrence Foster. I'm here with David Melcher-Lopez and a very special guest, three-time and defending NTT IndyCar Series champion, Alex Palou. Alex, welcome to the RACER Debrief.
Thank you.
Dave and I were talking beforehand and saying, right, what is the priority in terms of, is it us talking to Alex about going for the fourth championship in 5 years, or is it the fact that we are building towards the Indy 500 and there is that sort of unfinished business? So let's take the championship first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heck of a start.
Yeah.
We're talking at Long Beach, 2 races, 2 wins. You've tended to, in the past, sort of front load these seasons with, getting early wins and then sort of, being consistent afterwards. This has taken it to a new level, basically, 2 races, 2 wins. Is there a difference in approach, or is this, it's the perfect momentum at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we plan when to win. It's not like we say, okay, let's try and win the first at the beginning of the season,
and then we'll skip Laguna.
We don't work like that. We try and win every single race, like everybody. But honestly, this year everything is clicking. Everything is working quite well for us. St. Pete, it was a track that we previously struggled, and going there and starting with a win this year felt amazing. And then Thermal was just a perfect weekend for the 10 cars. So we don't plan it, but it's welcome that it comes early in the year, so we don't have to look for that first win, right? Like, I think it's the first win every year. It's the hardest. Like, you can do it, you have the tools to do it, but it's like, man, we haven't won yet. So once you get it out of the way, it's like they come easier, or they come more often. So it's good that you get it out of the way quite early in the year.
I noticed there never seems to be any despair or downheartedness. Like, if you're not on the front row, like Ganassi are just kings of the turnaround. Like, wherever you are on the grid, you're going to find your way to the front. And I like the fact that your 2 wins are won in a very different manner from each other. Do you have that confidence going in where you're just like, oh, I didn't make the fast 6, oh, never mind, I'm going to be up at the front at some point?
Yeah, honestly, it's amazing. The like St. Pete, we started 8th on a street course. Like, that's not ideal. Then we stopped on the first lap, the first caution, and we dropped to like 15th, and we were like P5 in strategy. So it's not like we're always on clean air and P1 and just having a normal race. But the 10 car stand, they figure out a way always to get me a couple of spots or enough clean air to make a gap. So, I mean, I worry when we're not in the fast 6, honestly. Like, it limits your strategies that you can take,
right?
And especially street courses like Long Beach. But it's not a total drama. I know that if I start anywhere, we can move up front.
Yeah.
No, you talked about the team itself, hugely consistent in terms of the main guys around you, Julian Robertson, Barry Wanzer, Ricky Davis. How now, after this is now season 5 with that group?
Yeah.
How has the working relationship evolved in terms of being able to sort of focus, switch on instantly?
Yeah, I mean, it just helps. It helps when you work with the same group of people. On top of that, they are all amazing at what they do. They have like tons of experience, more than 20 years each of experience in IndyCar alone, let alone other motorsport series. So that helps, but me being with the same group all and then Barry as well, talking always to Julian and Julian to Ricky, and all all the group that we have, I feel like it syncs very well. Like they know by my breathing when I stop during practice if the car is good or not. They know how I talk, what I need from the car, and this has been helping us quite a lot in the past 2 or 3 years, where Julian knows exactly what I need when I say I have understeer. Like he knows what kind of understeer I have, and I know also what to ask him. So yeah, this I think I feel super lucky to be in this position of not having team personal shuffling. I know that someday is going to change, but hopefully that's in like 10 or 15 years.
Yeah. I wanted to ask how much difference did you know? Obviously, you tested with Dale in 2019.
Yep.
Mid-Ohio, was that?
Yep.
Yeah.
First
and,
test.
Yeah, Dale was waxing lyrical. Oh yeah, this guy's special. He's good. How much did you have to evolve your driving style from Super Formula to adapt to IndyCar? Because he said you got it straight away, like what the car needed. And then how much did your driving evolve from a coin car to a Ganassi car?
Every car is different. Even even a coin car to a Ganassi car, it changes. But at the end of the day, it's still a race car. Like it's only like 2 pedals and a steering wheel, right? And I feel the same with Super Formula, and also to GTP now when I'm doing like Daytona or Sebring, like. Yes, it changes, and maybe the GTP you need to be a bit more careful on the brakes, and you struggle more on traction. Corner speed is not that good compared to the IndyCar, but at the end of the day, it's still a really cool racing car. So I feel as long as you're in that similar speed level, like Super Formula, IndyCar, GTP, I think they're quite similar. It's quite easy to adapt.
Was the biggest adaptation then maybe the ovals?
For sure. For sure.
But even then, first season with Ganassi,
yep.
I think the pole at Texas, you're battling with Helio Castroneves for the Indy 500. I mean, people are saying if you look at the Alex Palou bingo card, the only thing that hasn't been ticked is a first oval win. But I mean, statistically, apart from having the win, you've basically been incredibly strong on ovals and on a variety of ovals. But how quickly did that click?
It takes time, honestly. Like, just think that I've been racing since I was 5 and only on road courses. Then when I was, I would say, 19 or 18, started doing street courses. So I feel quite good there because it's my area. But since I moved to IndyCar like 5 years ago, I didn't know what an oval was. Yeah, I knew what an oval was, but I didn't know what racing on an oval was. Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to go crazy? Do I need to manage? How do I feel the car? It's very different on a street or a road course that you feel the car when you brake, when you release the brakes, when you start steering, and then on an oval you don't have brakes. We don't use the brakes, and then you don't really have like big inputs. So the car. Although you're going super fast, you need to feel it like super slowly, like the transitions from when you're straight to like when you start getting into the banking, like the feeling that you get from the car is very different. So I think I'm getting there, but I like when I go on an oval, I don't feel as confident of like, what do I need to go faster to tell the team. So that's probably what I believe I'm missing. It's more the feeling of like, okay, I know how to drive this car, but what do I need to go faster?
Right. Your qualifying run, even for a coin at Indy 500, I think you were on schedule to be on the front row, but was it a weight jacker?
Yeah,
that
weight
broke?
jacker. Yeah.
How much of a I don't know how to put it. But,
say in Spanish, Dave.
yeah.
Go ahead.
But how much did it screw with you when they stripped the downforce off and to make you quick in qualifying? Yeah, it's a different feeling again, right?
It is. It's huge. Like whenever you go from race trim to qualifying trim, and we normally do the race trim for like, I would say almost a week. Like you get to adapt to that 220 miles per hour, 219, 222, 225 with a toe, and then you go suddenly to like 230s average. So it's a big jump. I would say the beauty about 500 and qualifying week is that we get so much track time that you can ease into it. That's probably why I've been more comfortable at the 500 than any other ovals. All other ovals, we get one practice, and then you go straight to qualifying, and then straight to the race. It's like, what's going on? I haven't even warmed up. Well, then at the 500, you get like these amounts of track time, and you can start feeling comfortable lap by lap. But the change is massive. I would say nowadays it's even more with the boost. Like when they get you the boost and they take downforce off, it's like, oh wow, this is a different track. Like suddenly it's a lot tougher. But it's fun. It's super fun for sure.
And then this year, obviously, we've got the a new variable in terms of the hybrid system.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you see that playing out, and especially? I mean, go back to 2021. You know, you playing cat and mouse there with Helio, but you know, having the ability to put in some extra boost. I mean, is that going to change? Do you think the nature of the last few laps, the just go for it stage of the race, or?
Yeah, so honestly, at the beginning when we started speaking about hybrids and we started testing, I was like, man, on ovals it's not gonna work. It's only regenerating when you're off the throttle, when you're on the brakes, and on an oval, and especially at the 500, we just need speed. As soon as you lose like 1 mile per hour, you probably lose one position. So and then we tested. I think it was 4 cars. It was Andretti, Penske, McLaren, and us.
Right.
Early last year, and it was amazing. It was super fun. We get so much tow that actually you release the throttle a lot. You can recharge, and then the one that is P1 or even P2, if they're not timing it right and they are not getting enough energy, they don't have as much power. And then suddenly I think if you know that the last 2-3 years we've been struggling to overtake when you're like 3rd or 4th in line. I think now it's going to change. It's probably going to be even tougher to be first than it's been, but it's going to be quite easier, a little bit easier to overtake even if you're 3rd or 4th in line. So that's what I expect. I think it's going to be a lot cooler for everybody, for the fans, for the drivers as well, so we don't get frustrated just being in line and not being able to overtake. So I think it's going to be cool to have the hybrid there.
You said about being in front. I mean, 2 or 3 laps to go, you're leading. You need to harvest for your boost. You're going to be 5th or 6th, aren't you, by the time you've harvested? I mean, there's almost a...
It's not that much, yeah. Like, even when you regen, you're not losing that much... you're not losing that much speed. So you're losing, but there's ways also to, like, try and avoid big drops.
Right.
And also, you don't get that much speed difference when you deploy. Like that would be also like dangerous if suddenly you gain like 5 miles an hour. Just imagine the speed difference.
I have over dramatized it there, Alex.
You did a little bit, but I get it, and it's good. But honestly, it's enough that it makes it challenging and it makes it interesting to overtake. But it's not that much that you suddenly are P1 and you don't want to lead. I don't think it's going to be that case.
Now, before Indy, obviously, well, you've got the open test, but we're here now at Long Beach. You've also got Barber.
Yep.
Is there a point where the mindset changes from, you know, this opening phase of the season where we've got the mixture of road courses and street courses, and then basically, you know, there's a point, you know, even before Barber's out the window or whatever, where it's suddenly, you know, this is Indy 500 mode. You know, Alex's thinking is, I'm going to Indy next, or...
Yes, but I think it's more for the team. So the team already since the beginning of the year, they have those 2 cars, and you know, it's the 500 baby that it's getting there, and don't look at it too much because it's we need to keep her happy and fast. And then we have our normal car, our season long car, and that's the one we work, and you can see that they are working all day on our baby. So it's very interesting from a team standpoint, the focus they have and how much effort they put in, even though we're now at Long Beach. But for me, at the end of the day, I need to take it like Long Beach now is it's my most important race, and thermal was my most important race. Once you start going to May and you start going to IMS, I still focus on the road course.
Right,
Like that's
right.
my job. But then once the road course is over, then you're like, yes, okay, it's go time. It's the biggest month of the year, and it's the biggest race. But yeah, I don't like, and I think it would be very unfair to lose focus for the 500. It deserves it, but also the other races, and they are as important in terms of championship points and wins. So yeah, the team is focusing pretty much more on the 500, but for me, Long Beach at the moment is the most important one.
Have you seen your Indy baby? The
Yeah, of course. She's there. She's happy.
She's happy.
She's happy so far. Yeah, I sat on her.
Alex currently has 2 babies.
I
Yes,
have
indeed.
3 actually. My road and street, my
Okay.
500, and the real baby. So
That's right.
yeah, there's a lot of babies. But yeah, like we're already working on it. Like I
Right.
was doing the bells last week at the shop. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Alex, you were saying about, it's one race at a time. It's, this is Long Beach. The next one is Barber. It's Indy. Looking at the tail end of last year, at what point did you maybe start, connecting the dots and sort of looking bigger picture on the championship? I mean, around about Portland or something like that, thinking, hang on a minute, I only need to do this for it to be a lock-in, or does that approach of race by race never change?
Yeah, it never changes. Never. Obviously, when you get to the last 3-4 races and they start taking some drivers out of the equation, like they cannot win anymore. Even if they win the 4 races remaining, that's when the championship game starts kicking in. But yeah, it's never over. Like, look at what happened last year. Like, you think it's going to be a lot easier. Suddenly,
Yeah.
you cannot even start a race at Milwaukee. Power is going to win, and suddenly it's going to take your championship lead at the middle of the race,
Yep.
which is like complete chaos. And then suddenly, on the last couple of laps, he loses a bunch of points, and you're okay. So yeah, you can never lose the focus of like race by race. I think that's the beauty and the bad thing about IndyCar, that it pays so much to win a race, and I love it. I think it's deserved. It's a lot easier to finish second than to finish first, and that person should be rewarded.
Did you always have that philosophy, or is that something that you've learned while at Ganassi?
No, I've always had that philosophy. I think it comes from when I was a kid, and I didn't know if I was going to do the next race or not. I was always depending on the result from that weekend, right? And my dad was very clear with me that, hey, maybe this is the last race we do, and at the moment was like super normal. I mean, it was the situation we were in, and probably that made me just realize that that's the most important thing. At the end of the day, the best way to win a championship is by winning every single race, right?
Yes, yeah,
and in order to do that, you need to be focused on that day specific and that track specifically. So that's probably
So why is no one else doing what you're doing?
I don't know. Hopefully they never do it. I don't know. I think
Dave's putting
Yeah.
unnecessary stress on you as well at this point.
No,
Pressure.
no,
So,
well done.
why are you?
yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if people take it the same way, or if people is thinking now on the 500, or if they are then switching suddenly to the championship. But I think in my way of working, it's probably a mistake.
Alex, one final thing, because here we are at Long Beach. By the way, you've got a job to do, so thank you for finding the time here. Just a closer, looking at this year where we've had Prema come in, we've had Schwartzman come in. We've last couple of years, guys like Lundgaard. Obviously, you coming from Super Formula, is that at the moment a more sort of fully formed, well-rounded route to actually enter IndyCar relative to say doing the ladder and trying to come in from Indy next?
Yeah, so I think everything started probably with Felix, with Rosenquist.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit earlier with Jones, but not really. It was more like Felix that suddenly was like, hold on. And Robert as well, weekends. I think in the past, IndyCar was a little bit tougher for a European driver to get in because of the amount of oval races you guys had.
Yeah.
Like to try and come here and perform on your first year was like very tough.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you were gonna get smashed on the ovals. So I think having more of like a 30% and a 30 with the oval road courses and streets made it a lot more like easier to access for drivers that were not in the ladder system in the US. But I think it's good that we're getting more European drivers, more drivers coming from Super Formula.
Yep.
And I think that Indy Next is also the strongest it's ever been.
Sure.
And we've seen
Yeah.
a lot of drivers going up the ladder even this year with Jacob and Louis. So I think it's interesting to see that we're getting the best drivers from many different series all around the globe, and I think that's why it's probably the one of the most competitive series out there.
Well, Alex, we will call it at that point. Just to say that we are talking to Alex before Long Beach qualifying. So if we add on a bit at the end and basically guess right, it's rigged. We've put that on. But Alex, have a great rest of weekend,
Thank
we'll see if it's 3 starts and 3 wins. No,
that would be
no
pretty
pressure.
cool, right?
No
That would
pressure.
be amazing.
It would be a cool story for you guys as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think it would be quite interesting. So yeah, I'll try my best.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Alex, thanks. Well, Dave, this looks like really poor continuity. That's only we've only got 2 magazines, but just to say, as Alex left, he did take a copy of RACER. So
I did.
well, that was interesting stuff. And
Yeah.
Dave, I wanted to throw this one to you. You know, Alex, basically, what he's done with Ganassi over these past, 4 and a bit seasons.
Yeah.
3 championships and currently leading the championship again in his 5th season. Throw this to you, but looking at Ganassi's drivers over the last 2.5, 3 decades, my maths is dreadful. But who do you think is the benchmark Chip Ganassi Racing driver?
It's got to be Eddie G. No. I think maybe it's tough because, I mean, Alex is currently measuring himself against a benchmark in Scott Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same way, Scott measured himself against, some pretty fine drivers, most of whom were other race winners. Or future race winners like Ryan Briscoe.
Yeah.
But obviously, Dario. I feel that one of Alex's keys is that he has even greater composure than Dario.
Wow.
I think he can.
Yep. He
has those qualities. Like you don't hear him getting irate too often. Sorry, you did throw that one. He's right. I don't know. He's right up there in the pantheon with Dixon and Dario, and speaking to Ricky Davis at Thermal, he says this guy is just something else.
Right. Yeah.
And he says he makes us look good. I feel like we got to a stage where remember how when Schumacher was with Ferrari and everyone was praising Ross Brawn's strategy, and
but it was because Ross Brawn could throw anything at Michael and it would work. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel that Ganassi are at that stage with Alex. It's like he'll find a way to make it work, and if he doesn't, he'll still bring the car home. And Chip really treasures drivers like that. That if they can't win, they'll bring it home second. They won't throw it at a wall while trying to be first, And that's how he just keeps amassing points.
I've got a theory on Ganassi drivers, and in terms of, I'm not going to pin what I'm allowed to not pin one down because I asked you the question, but I feel that Alex Zanardi defined Chip Ganassi Racing, and what he achieved, and it's almost like it instilled a momentum and a direction into that team that it never lost.
Yeah,
I feel that Dario is the guy who, when you look at what he achieved in the timescale that he achieved it,
Yeah.
you know, there was a Dario era basically where,
Absolutely.
you know, winning everything. You look at the Indy wins, you look at the, you look at the championships, the consecutive championships. Dixon, to me, is the guy who, it's been over a longer period of time. It's not been where there've been those intense periods that, you know, I've got 3 championships in 3 seasons or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel that he is the guy who consistently has maintained Chip Ganassi Racing at the level where an Alex Palou can come in and do his thing as well.
Yeah.
But without losing that, that Scott Dixon momentum either.
Yeah.
You know, I don't believe we've had this sort of, you know, transfer of power within CGR yet.
No.
I believe there's still more to come from Scott Dixon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've basically named a bunch of drivers and not said which one is the most.
Yeah, no, I mean that's fair. I agree that Zanardi kind of cemented the Ganassi legend and made Ganassi a go-to place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, no offense to Jimmy Vasser, but you know, Zanardi was the one that got all the headlines.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, I do wonder what Montoya might have done if he had stayed at Ganassi. Can you imagine what Montoya might have, what his win tally might be
that
now?
That is one of the big what-ifs, yeah.
If he had, stayed at Ganassi for the next 15 years rather than go to Formula One. So I think in terms of raw talent, I think Montoya is possibly the greatest that Ganassi has ever employed. In terms of having their arms around the whole talent, all the talents required, which is indeed like meshing with your team. And I think it's probably Dixon.
Uh-huh.
But I wouldn't like to say that it isn't Dario.
Here's another question for you then.
God.
The current competitiveness and relative parity amongst, you know, some of the big teams, some of the big teams in IndyCar at the moment. We've got it where it's the norm to see a champion maybe winning 3 races. We had it where I think the second of Alex's championships, he won 5. We've seen it where Will, you know, by incredible consistency, did it with 1 win.
Yeah. Alex did it with 2 last year. Two
last year, exactly, yeah. So we've got it now where Alex has won the first 2.
He's going to stop now.
No, but do you think this is a season where, I'm not saying this as Alex's championship lock-in at the moment, I'm not saying this is something where, you know, only what can Alex do, but I mean, do you think we may be seeing the sort of IndyCar season where the win tally for the champion is maybe at a higher level than recent seasons? Yeah,
I think the champion's going to win 5, whoever he may be.
Well, if it's not Alex, somebody has got to start then.
They've spotted Alex too already. So, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a 5-win campaign for someone.
Well, on that note.
Yeah.
Dave, we're going to close it now because, as we mentioned,
our predictions could be terrible.
Well, yeah, but it's a working weekend. Dave has got to go and do his thing now. Got to go and trawl the paddock. We've all got things to do, but we hope you enjoyed that episode of RACER Debrief. Again, thank you for Alex Palou to find the time to come and join us, and we'll see you next time.